This is a piece of sea glass I got by breaking a blue wine bottle and tumbling this in my rock tumbler for about 5 days with sand and grit and water. Smooth it out. So now it's super smooth and a little bit frosted. And I'm going to wrap it with 20 gauge vintage bronze or antique brass, depending on where you get it from. This is Parawire. I'm going to take a lot because I don't know what I'm going to do or how much I'm going to use. I'm just going to try to make it a little bit wacky and weird. So I'm going to take 4 feet just to be on the safe side. I might not use it all. And I'm going to put the ends together like this so that I can find the middle of the wire. There we go. In the middle here, I'm going to make a loop. And I think I'll wrap it around a marker a couple times. Get it just right. Trying to see if there's any other pens I have that are smaller than this. Yeah, we'll just go with this. That's about 3 times. And we'll bring it together, twist it, take it off, get off there. There we go. Cool. I usually just wrap it with my fingers. This is kind of cool. It's nice and round, but let's make it more oval shaped. Let's pinch it right at the base here, like this with the flat, like that. That gives it more of an upside down teardrop that I like. I like that. Let's do it even more. Get that. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh yeah. I've never actually done that before. I just figured it would work, and it did. All right, so I kind of want this to be the top, the curved outer convex side to be the front. Let's come around here. Let's put our loop at the front here and make the wire hug itself. It's like the wire sneaking up behind the stone to hug it. And the stone's like, oh, where'd you come from? And the wire's like, just take the love. Just accept it. Don't ask questions. And the sea glass is like, that's a little creepy. And the wire's like, creepy to some, not to us. Just accept the love. And the sea glass is like, I think I hear someone calling me. And the wire's like, it'll only be creepy if you want it to be. Just enjoy the attention. I'm hugging you from behind. And the sea glass is like, okay. It's a beautiful love story. Almost as good as Twilight. So I crossed these wires over here, and now I'm going to pull them around into a spiral. But I got to be careful because it could keep popping right off like that. So I got to hold it tight as I'm doing it. It takes concentration from multiple sources as your fingers hold it in place. Not really. Once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. Hear that wire scratching all over the place? I usually give myself more room, but I'm trying to stay real close to the camera so you guys can see. So now I'm going to bring these over here and bend them backwards like that. Whew. And then bend them back the other way like that. And kind of separate them a little bit. I want them even tighter. Squish that in tighter. There we go. Push that up there. Yeah, that's what I like that. Now push. Oh, it's popped off again. Push it back down. And wrap it behind. Now it's starting to lock in. It's still bouncy a little bit, but it's much more locked in place. Now we're going to press it really tight back, and we're going to come around here, these guys, and give it another loop. Well, a loop, the first loop, I guess that's technically a swirl or a spiral, and then this would be a loop. And I like to separate the strands a little bit, just to be a little wild and weird. But just enough, just in a controlled way, so I have control of what's happening. And bring the strands back together like that. Yeah. Now we got to come in across here in the back, and we want to get. So there's like a torque. There's pressure pulling it down and around this way, and now we want pressure coming the opposite way to come back up and grab the top loop, and that's going to lock it in much better. So now we're going to come up this, and we're also looking at the front. We don't want to make it too busy, but we want to fill in that space with something cool. So we're going to come back up the opposite way, this way now, and Make a loop. Whoops, grab the wrong one. We're gonna make a loop right here. And try to decide what we want to do. Do we want to go all the way? Yeah, I think we want to go. I think we want to go up here like this, and then cut across here like that, and then come across this way. And see how this is kind of a little bit loose there? It's a little bit snaggable. We're going to grab it right now, and it's also we're also going to fill in this spot at the same time like this. I'm going to bring these around. Got to be careful because they're really long, but we're going to see. I'm grabbing these all the way down here, bringing them around. And I'm going to loop them right through there. There's one, and there's the next. I'm just going to feed it in carefully because I don't want to get a snag. I don't want to kink the wire. I'm just feed it through. And meanwhile, I'm holding all of this in place because I also don't want any of that stuff to get yanked out of place while it's still a little bit fragile. This is fun. Just feeding this. Oh, you just stop right there. That's a nice secure necklace. Just have this wire hanging out there. Just grab and scratch anybody you walk past. It's always fun. Just feeding it through, feeding it through, feeding it through. Oh yeah, that looks cool, but we want to feed it through very tight. So I also want to keep track of which strand is which. I don't want them to roll. I want them to be tight. So now I'm pushing, pressing. I want. So the wires always try to roll over each other. I don't want them like that. I want this one and this one to stay side by side. I don't want them to cross. So get back over there. We go. All right, now I'm going to pull. Oh, that just popped right off the top. Look at that. Get that back on there. Hold that down tight. Pull. Pull that tight and come back around the back. All right, now I have all these strands, and all of them can get snagged. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put little crimps going this way, and then this way I'm going to make little divots like this, and that way I can come back and grab each of these wires with, you'll see. So one, get my fingernail in there when I can't, if the pliers aren't able to get in. Okay. See how I made these divots, right? So now I don't need both these wires. I can do this with just one. What I'm basically doing is I'm going to come back through here and wrap and stick the wire through each of these, and that's going to lock all that stuff in place and make like a nice strong matrix around the piece. So if I can't, that one's so tight I can't get under it. Man, I made it way too tight. That's good. It's good to have it tight, but then sometimes when you got to go back, you there you go, got it under. All right, see that? That's the first one. Got it under there. Pulling everything tight and pulling. I want it locked down really tight. Pulling. All right, I'm pressing and pulling because I don't want to yank this out of place. These might be fine just with the wire going. Yeah, they can't snag now. I'm not going to wrap around each one of those. That's going to get too busy. Now that this wire is coming across back up here, they're all going to be held in place because this is just going to hold it by coming across. Now this wire here is loose, so we want these to come together. So we'll just twist that. So change of plan. Twist that a few times. So see how now this wire is coming across. It was locked right down there. Now it's coming across there. So I don't need to get underneath each divot, but I could. If I had thinner wire, I'd wrap it underneath. That's going to make it really busy back here, and it's going to make a bunch of little knots. And this is the part that goes against your chest. So the flatter we have it, the better. Let's see if we messed up the front and all that. Nope. Front maintains its shape, which is good because I was pressing and holding it the whole time. I was doing my best anyway. Let's just make that spiral a little tighter. Good. This guy is still super loose because we didn't do what we're about to do now, which is grab him We're going to grab him from both sides with this. I could put these together and just grab him once. That would be fine. But yeah, I'm just going to put these together and just grab him from right here. Nah, let's do from both sides. So we're coming across here, coming across the top, and boom, now he's locked in. And now we're going to come across this way, lock him in from this side. Boom. Now he can't move. He is locked in. He is a locked in loop. And let's just clean it up, make sure there's nothing, we don't want that stuff showing. We want that to be hiding in the back as much as possible. And now it looks like he has arms. He's like, hey guys, what's up? And we're gonna actually take this one and come across like this. Add a little more going on there. We'll do the same with this. Bring this around so it has like a double strand right there. And nah, I don't like that. That's like a headband. I don't want a headband. Once is enough. So all right, so that's coming across right there like that. Now I want these strands to roll together at the same time. So I'm going to wrap them like this. And now I'm going to make a scarf, pretending that's like a face. I'm going to wrap this across and just stack the wraps as I go up like that. And that's about high enough. So I'm going to cut the two ends. Give it one last tug, make sure, yeah, it's super tight, super strong. Cut it halfway across the loop. Tuck in these two sharp ends. I'm going to pull them towards the middle of that little bowl I made with the scarf, and then I'm going to pinch them deep down into that bowl. Boom. So they're both, so it ends the piece and everything's tucked tight so no sharp ends can come out and scratch anyone. Now, I don't like how this is a little bit off center. I mean, it's cool. I could leave it that way. It's fine. It kind of goes with the funkiness of the whole piece. But I'm going to see if I can just jam it a little bit more to center. You got to be careful. I'm putting the pliers together and I'm pushing it, but I have really good leverage. Otherwise, I could slip and stab myself. And even though these don't look super sharp, you stab yourself with them and it doesn't feel good. I'm pressing key places. All right, that didn't really move it. I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to try crimping this one right here. And that moved it. Cool. It's way more centered now. See that? And it's still very strong. No, it's pulling off of there. I don't like that. So I'm going to come back in here and do some more crimping. I'm going to crimp that. I'm going to crimp that. Crimp that. And crimp that a little tighter in there. And I'm going to crimp that. Press that in and crimp it. Okay. I'm going to pull this down. And I'm going to pinch it. Get it really tight. Okay. And it moved a little bit back towards away from center, but it's much stronger now. I'm going to just feel back here for any weaknesses, any parts. That whole line there could get crimped and double crimped. Now this looks cool. It's kind of a cool pattern in the back. So you can, if you want to crimp it in the front, you can show this cool stuff. But I want to keep my swirly, whimsical shapes. Now I am going to change one little thing. I want these guys separated a little bit. So I'm just going to bend that like that, pull this a little bit more like that. You can kind of mold them once they're locked in place within reason. And you just play around with it to see how far you can mold them, because it's fun. See that? Now they're all, they're coming together, then they're separate, then they're coming together. It's kind of fun. But then you got to check back here, what does you need to change anything? I'm going to tighten this like that, and tighten this one like that. There we go. Press. Also, sometimes just pressing with your fingers, getting everything super tight. I'm going to press that one more time, try to get it back towards center. Pull that down as much as possible. All right. I think that's good. It's a little off center, but it's kind of funky. I like it. Put some jump rings. Now I could turn this a quarter turn, but I'm going to put some jump rings instead. Nice black cord. And I think we're done.